Hello everyone, welcome to the episode 1.4 already? Yeah. It's definitely episode 1.4 already. Buckle in guys, because we're gonna be making some hair today, which is gonna be the final character modeling episode, because the only thing left for us to model is gonna be the weapons, which is gonna be on a different episode sometimes in the future. First we're gonna finish the character. Because the weapon is basically just going to be like a repeated session of things you already know, just to make sure you guys, kind of keep doing the things you need to do. Today, however, we're going to make some hair. We're going to model some hair, and I found this character on Pinterest. And basically what we're going to try to do is we're going to try to convert this style, like this clothing style, onto our character. We're going to start with the hair a little bit, and I can already tell you guys the hair is going to look a little bit different, because I don't know if you guys have noticed, but not cube head, but still, we're gonna try to make some hair, and I'm gonna show you guys how you can approach this. I'm gonna do a very simple one, and you can make it more complex as we go. So the way they make hair for this game is pretty simple, and by the way, a lot of low poly style characters to this. So basically what they do is they just import a cube, right? There we go. I'm gonna go to the side. I'm gonna press go to edit mode and bring it up with G and Z. And I'm gonna make sure it's a little bit bigger than our character. Let me, by the way, click this so you guys can see what's happening. And it's in front. Oh, that's so annoying always. Let's see. That because of there we go. If that ever happens to you, I don't know why, but if you go here to orange and it's in front, that's why. I don't know why that happens to me, but it's basically, if you're rigging, it's kind of useful. So it looks awful right now, and basically what I'll be doing is I'm gonna go to modifiers. I'm gonna grab the multi-resolution one, and this one is so awesome, this modifier, because what this modifier does is it's gonna like grab your object, and it's gonna subdivide it. It's gonna make it more dense, which is gonna allow us to modify it with sculpting, which is something we have not done in this series before, and it's the thing that I love to do most when it comes to modeling, because I love sculpting creatures, weapons, anything. So I'm gonna subdivide this, and you're gonna see like, whoa, what's happening? Like it's changing its shape. Don't worry, we're gonna fix that. We're gonna subdivide it again, and we're gonna subdivide it again. And now we have a mesh that's already like a little bit more dense. It's nowhere near enough to sculpt detail on, but what it is enough for is if we go back. I, by the way, pressed the slash button that allows you to isolate an object. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go to the sculpt mode over here. There we go. And as you can see on the left here, if you drag this out a little bit more like this, you can see all the tools. What we're gonna do here basically is first we're gonna enable the X mirroring, because if I were to just sculpt on this, it will happen on both sides, which is great initially, because I would like to kind of mirror the hair at first, and then later on we can disable the mirroring, and then kind of tweak it as we go. So I'm gonna grab this tool here, which is the elastic deform, which basically if you grab something, the points around it are being kind of pulled with it as well, which is that's good. That's what we want. Let's do it like this. So I'm just clicking and grabbing, making sure that the face or the head, top of the head part is covered. Now I'm gonna use this tool, the inflate one, to make it a little bit more, come up a little bit. I'm gonna drag this part over here. Let's see. So he has a little bit of hair coming over here, like along his ear. Looks like a little head right now. That's fine. And then it goes all the way down the neck. All right, that's fine. I'm just gonna draw that over here. Lovely. Alrighty. I'm gonna make the top a little bit more, you know, this. Alright. So now we have a little bit of a problem because here, as you can see, we have a face. And within sculpting, you can only manipulate these points. So if I draw here, as you can see, it's only using 1 point, which means we need more vertices. We need more, you know, we need more points. I'm gonna go back in object mode. I'm gonna subdivide again and again. Now I'm gonna go back in sculpt mode. So now I have a lot more points to work with. As you guys can see, like, hey, let's go. Still a bit pixelated, but it's fine. I'm gonna drag out a little bit more here. And look at the reference. Yep, there we go. Don't want this to go like that. Alrighty. Very well. It's a little bit too clean, I would say, so I'm gonna just use this tool to make it a little bit more messy. You know, like make it look like hair strokes, I guess. Yeah. And then I'm gonna use this tool, which makes it really easy to make certain areas flat. Like this. And now you're like, whoa, this looks really interesting. Like, well, interesting I wouldn't necessarily say, but look, if I, for example, grab this tool, I can pretend like these are hairlines, right? Like you can already see a little bit like, oh damn, he has like a certain hairstyle where all the hairs are being pulled back. There we go. So now we would have a hairstyle, you know, depending on your preference. We're gonna grab this tool and then drag it out a little bit like this. Gonna grab this too. Make sure there's not too much gap here, because that will look not that great. Okay, there we go. Keep in mind that we'll be mostly looking from this angle, right? So this side has to look pretty good. And now I'm gonna turn off mirror a little bit and just gonna go a bit crazy. Just gonna make one side a little bit more go up. Go. Love it. Making sure it's not mirrored, because the thing is, if something is mirrored, that tends to look a little bit boring. That's just a design principle. So yeah, that's kind of why. Cool. So basically, if you've been able to follow along, which I doubt you will because I went really fast, so make sure to rewatch that part a few times. Mess around with the tools. There are some really dope tutorials on what all these brushes do. But for me, when I started, the most problems I had was understanding that you need a lot of faces for these brushes to take effect, because if it's too low poly, can't do anything. So what the guys mostly do then to kind of recreate that aesthetic, you know, that low poly aesthetic, is very simple. We're gonna go to object mode. We're gonna apply this hair. When I go into edit mode, you can see that our hair now has 6,000 faces. Which, if I'm totally honest, if we were to make something like, I don't know, some AA game where you have one awesome game character, you know, your main character, 6,000, still a bit high, but it would be allowed. But for us, where we want super low poly, that's too much. So, very simple, we're gonna add another modifier. We're gonna add the decimate, and we're gonna just collapse the crap out of this hair so that it becomes more triangular and sharp and pointy. So I'm dragging this down, and as you can see, it now starts to look pretty good. I think 0.04 here should do the trick. I don't think I need to go any lower. Like, this is, you know, you want to have these cool crisp edges. I think this is fine. I'm gonna apply it by Ctrl A, or once again, using the drop down menu. So now we have our hair. Anything else we need to model in terms of hair? I don't think we need to model the eyebrows because we're gonna draw that. So something you could do, right? If you really want to go, if you want to make these plushy things, like what you could do, for example, is just you go into the hair and then you just you kind of like add a plane. I'm gonna rotate it on the y-axis. Gonna make it go up. Then I'm gonna make it smaller. Scale it. Add a loop cut. Make it smaller. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna select the whole thing by Ctrl L and do this. This needs to be a bit smaller. There we go. And I'm gonna alt click this to give it just a little bit more, you know, edge loops. And then I'm gonna do it like this. Now what you can do basically is you can just like add a few of those hair strands if you want. I'm not sure if this is gonna look good. It's gone okay. I was expecting this to look a whole lot worse because I'm now freestyling a little bit, going off script. But that looks okay. Right? Boom, there we go. And just by doing that, even if you were to just have the base, like this is the base, right? Adding these little details can create a whole new hairstyle. Okay, make this smaller a little bit. And since we will not be texturing the hair, right? It's just gonna be a solid material. We can do this, we're allowed to. If we had to texture this, we would have maybe taken another approach, but for now it's fine. All right, cool, I'm gonna leave it like this. And I'm gonna save this. So before we end this video, let's go to the material tab here. I'm gonna make a new material. There we go. I'm gonna do capital M underscore hair. And I have cap locks enabled, so my apologies. Capital M underscore hair. And this is also fine, just checking, because I like to be organized, right? Like M indicates material. It's just nice. Especially if you have a large project, you want to keep everything pretty nice. I'm gonna name this hair. Cool. All right, cool. So yeah, I hope this was a little bit of a shorter tutorial because I didn't necessarily want to spend 20 minutes again on a whole video. Next video, guys, we're gonna try to texture this clothing onto this model. So be sure to subscribe, like, comment if you have any questions. If you want me to do a more in-depth tutorial on sculpting, by the way, do not worry, because I've told this before. First, we're gonna do like a low poly style, but once we've done this, once we've made the character, once we've made the sword, once we've made the enemy, if I by then have like reached a certain amount of subscribers and stuff, I'm gonna do the exact same thing all over again, but I'm gonna do it in a stylized style. So like Overwatch and stuff. So it's gonna be much more complicated, but assuming you followed this tutorial all the way, I'm more confident that you guys are gonna be able to follow along because it's more difficult. So yeah, first we start with a style like this, and then we're gonna build our way up to stylized, and then maybe even realistic and stuff. Like, it's gonna be a lot of fun. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Subscribe and like, and I'll see you guys in the next video where we'll be texturing. Peace.